White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, Homeland Security Advisor to the President, Stephen Miller. So I can sum up the Democrats this way, and we'll culminate this with the mariachi ban. They lied for 4 years about the border being closed and secure. They never picked up a phone and called any of the family members that we know of. We know Biden and Harris and Mayorkas didn't. We know the Democrats wouldn't stand at a joint session speech of President Trump for Laken Riley or Jocelyn Nungary's family. And they're the party of Abrego Garcia and mariachi bands. What should now happen to these mayors and these governors?
The Democrat Party is an extremist organization, Sean. It's not a political party in any normal sense of the word. A political party represents Americans. It represents law-abiding citizens. All you see all day long are crazy Democrats screeching on TV on behalf of foreign terrorists, hardened criminals, and violent illegal aliens. A political party exclusively dedicated to protecting terrorists, criminals, gangbangers, and murderers. That's what they become. These sanctuary city mayors, DOJ's been very clear. They had a deadline and they violated it. They had a deadline to comply with federal law and hand over the criminal illegal aliens in their custody, the child rapists, the child predators, the drug traffickers, the human traffickers. The sanctuary cities, like Boston, refused to turn over these menacing threats to public safety. And so now they face not only revocation of funds, not only the loss of taxpayer support, but also potential criminal charges for harboring and smuggling. This is as real as it gets, Sean. The Department of Justice laid out to these mayors how they were breaking our laws, and they refuse to change their policy, and Attorney General Bondi is going to see this thing through to the end.
Well, to me, it's aiding and abetting. If I went down to the border and if I were to pick people up that were illegally in the country and transport them around the country and maybe give them a place to stay and protect them and let them know when ICE was going to raid, what would happen to me? Wouldn't I be charged with aiding and abetting criminal activity?
You'd be facing felony charges. Numerous felony charges. Charges for trafficking, charges for smuggling, charges for harboring, charges for concealing, charges for illegal interstate commerce, charge after charge after charge. Let me just break down for your audience, Sean, how severe the crime committed by these sanctuary cities is. So you'll have a situation where local police in Boston will arrest an illegal alien who's a child predator. And ICE will then send what's called a detainer request or a hold request, and we'll say, don't release this person, hand them over to ICE, and we'll remove this child predator from our community. Instead, these sanctuary mayors will order the police department to ignore the federal request to set them free out of the jail, out of the prison, and they will go back into the community. And then they will reoffend. They will hurt another little girl. They will hurt another little boy. And then ICE has to spend weeks scouring the community to find this public safety threat. What they're doing, Sean, is evil, and President Trump will see that they are held to account for their crimes.
All right, Stephen Miller, it is imperative we get to the bottom of this, hold people accountable. And you know what? We do have laws, and you got to respect our laws, borders, sovereignty, not complicated.